Okay, this is my wyvern video. Right now there's nothing here except a lot of eggs, but we're going to fix that. This spot has been bugged for at least 2 months, probably since the game came out. Eventually there'll be quite a few wyverns spawning here that are almost insta killed. I mean, this place has been bug reported and on for 2 months. I mean, I've done several myself, so I'm assuming it's working as intended, you know, just like witch elves. So, I mean, take advantage of this place, and I'll show you how it's done. And we're in Black Crag right now, near the Bad Moon Hole fort. Okay, this is the first step. We have to kill 175 canyon creatures. And very rarely does this PQ get done by itself, because nobody wants to kill animals, because they're harder than humanoids. I mean, and there are no butchers, so this part might take a while for some players, but as you can see, I have my 8 thorn potions up. They're obviously working as intended, you know, because I posted about this on Warhammer Alliance in mid-November, and they're still broken. I guess they would rather nerf talisman making than fix apothecary, so of course one would hope that if this ever gets fixed, they would actually fix a different tier potions, you know, like the tier 3 toughness potion, but whatever. So this is the best spot I've found, as there's about 10 or so insta spawning creatures in this area. Well, not insta, but just about insta. So I mean, you have to kill 175 of these to proceed. So I'm gonna start now, and as you can see, if I can get this, well, screw that one, but the potion speed killing up quite a bit. You know, I could just run around and just let them die. So I mean, that's something you'd probably want to use unless you have a group here, because otherwise it would be rather slow solo. And we've killed our first creature. So I'm gonna wait until the first set spawns here. And see, there we go, we already have respawns. So just do this until you get to 175. Okay, here we are about 20-25 minutes later. I've killed 174 of the canyon creatures. I'm standing at the front of this passageway here, which is where the second part will lead, and it's at roughly 55,000, 53,000, and I'm going to kill this last mob here. And technically you don't have to do stage 2. It might be hard for some people. If you don't do stage 2, then only 2 of the wyvern spots will spawn instead of 3. So I'm going to actually do stage 2 here, which involves killing 6 champion mobs in 12 minutes. Which, I mean, I can keep up with the healing, and with thorns it's actually pretty quick. So I'll attack these first 2 here. And I mean, you can see the damage that the thorns do right there. And my HP doesn't really go down a whole lot. So I'm going to turn this off for now, and I'll be back. Okay, here we are at the last Cliff Lord. And once this guy dies, the hero will spawn. This guy here attacked me too, which is pretty annoying. And I'm not actually sure if you actually have to attack this guy to get the 3rd spot to spawn. I always have, because I don't want to do stage 1 again, just in case. If it's true, you might have to get him to like a 60 or 70% when he starts spawning the wyverns. So I'm going to attack him now. I mean, he doesn't hit that hard. I use resistance buff for him, and it takes a while for him to be attackable, so. And he will spawn the wyverns at like maybe 70%. I don't honestly remember. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of hit points, as you can see. I mean, I could complete this PQ really, but I'm still missing one piece of rune gear, which actually is pretty good for rune priest, by the way. That's what I wear in my PvP set. So well, he's going down a little bit slower now. And really all I need to do is just keep my base regen up. I mean, every once in a while I need a little bit extra. Here we go. It was at 80%. And I mean, I can die now. I mean, with my insta-res, so I mean, I might as well let some die here so I can loot them. But it's okay to die at any point once they start spawning like that. So I'm just going to let myself die now. I'm going to stop healing myself. It might take a while, but and I put up my insta-res buff also. But I mean, after you die, you have to wait for this timer to run out. As you can see, it's already quite a few corpses, but I mean, that's just the beginning. Alright, there we go. I have some bugged on these, which is another nice feature. But and you see it flagged me as RVR, but that's just if you die and get rezzed here. I mean, you don't have to be RVR flagged in this area. I don't know if that's another bug or what, but I'll turn this off until the timer ends. Here we are after the reset. All three areas are spawning. They'll spontaneously die like that, but I mean, they respawn very quickly. And if you don't do the stage 2 and that part of stage 3, then just these two will spawn and this one won't. So I'm going to use one thorn potion and my initiative buff and kill them all at once. I wouldn't really recommend that. You should just stick to one area. I mean, you'll have enough trouble looting corpses anyway, so here we go with all of them at once. I mean, you can see how many there are. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But I mean, see, they're all dying just from thorn damage, and I'm actually taking a bit of damage. It's actually a bit rough. So there we go. But I mean, you can't even loot all these corpses in time. They'll fade. You can butcher these for nutrients, scales, stuff like that. Every once in a while I'll respec butcher and just hit this up for a couple hours. But these drop level 37 items now. They used to drop level 39 items. I've noticed that's common with a lot of the non-champion mobs. I guess it was an intended change. I mean, before you could get a lot of level 39 items, but like all the jewelry was toughness, intelligence, ballistics, and that might be why on your server those might be overloaded in the auction house, but there might not be much willpower stuff. Willpower stuff only drops in the Empire lands in order, and the Empire lands generally aren't as easily farmed as a place like a Black Crag. But if you do get a cracked jewelry or something like that, you can mail it to a warrior priest and get willpower, because rune priests get intelligence, you know, because we're supposed to be doing a lot of DPS and all this nonsense. But I mean, that's basically it. I mean, 3 spawns are up. It's best just to like camp one. Like, I mean, I could just sit here spamming my AE over and over and just, I mean, keep killing stuff. If you can't heal yourself, you'd probably want to stand back. I mean, I could just basically AFK here if I just keep doing my AE, and you see they're already starting to respawn. So, I mean, between looting all this stuff and the respawns, I mean, you'll be pretty busy. And I've gotten a bit unlucky there. Well, there's a die, so... I actually believe some of the other spots might spawn a little bit quicker, but... I mean, if you run out of mobs, you can always move on to the next section. This one actually has more, as you can see. And that kind of hurt, but... That's basically it. I mean, just kill these until you get whatever you want. And this is a short while later. I mean, you can see all these corpses stacked up and how hard it is to actually loot all this stuff. I mean, unless you're really good at, I mean, you have to swivel your mouse around and all kinds of stuff to get all these corpses under the eggs. So, I mean, really, one player only needs one spot, and I mean, you're basically set.